Hi, I'm Helen. I'm a patient of Dr. Lou's. I met Dr. Lou 2 years ago when I had my lap band surgery, and I've lost 80 pounds, and I'd like to share my story with you. I tried all kinds of diets, diet classes, diet programs, this ones, that ones, and I would lose weight, but then I would gain weight, plus I would gain weight. And it got to the point where when I was going clothing shopping, I realized I'm too fat. I need to do something about this, and I'm going to have a very short life if I don't do something about this. So I started to read about the lap band. And I discussed it with my doctor, told her that I thought this was something that would be good for me because I'm older. I'm not a young chick that's going to have this surgery. So I thought the lap band would be better. It's less invasive for me. And then I looked into it further and I found Dr. Lou, had my appointment with Dr. Lou, and I just was sold the first day I saw him. You know, not really sold, but I believed in him. I believed in him as, number one, a person, that he is honest. He's not going to pull the wool over my eyes. He's going to do what he says he's going to do, and he was very upfront that I could not look at this as a fix, because lap band is not a fix. Lap band is a change of life, and you have got to change your life. And I decided I'm going to do this. So about a month later, I had my lap band surgery. My biggest fear was dying. My husband died a very early death, and I didn't want this to be me, and I was afraid something would go wrong and I would die. My children were not going to be with me when I had the surgery. I was going to be by myself. Nobody here with me at all. So I was very nervous. I was very, very nervous. And when Dr. Lou came and was beside my bedside before the surgery, he talked to me and calmed me down. I wasn't crazy nervous, but I was pretty nervous. And my main fear was nobody was here when I came out of surgery. And he said, I'll be here for you, and we'll all be here for you. And they've been here ever since. They've been like family, they really have. My kids are so far away, and they've really been like family to me. You know, if I have questions or problems, I call them. I drive about 2 hours to see Dr. Lou, but every mile is worth it because I feel so comfortable and so at ease with him and his staff. His staff, no one ever put me down. No one ever said things like, oh, you gained 3 pounds this month. Everybody was very, very supportive. And he's very supportive. And I just feel it's worth my trip. It's a long haul, but I think it's worth it. After I had the lap band surgery, recovery was actually pretty quick. I did schedule to take a few weeks off work, figuring that I would need it. And I really didn't need it. I was doing pretty darn good, and I started walking right away, and just walking around where I live. And before you knew it, I was walking up to 1.5 miles in the morning and 1.5 miles at night. And I kept going with that, and it just really worked out well for me. It worked out really well. I tried to put in my mind that this is not a fix, that I have to work with it too. And if I'm not going to change my eating habits, change the way my life is, this isn't going to work. It'll be just like everything else, a failure. But now 2 years later, I don't feel like it's a failure. I feel like I've succeeded. I was a pizza nut. I could eat and would eat like a frozen pizza, like the DiGiorno size, by myself. And I had to get away from that. And it was actually easy to get away from that, because when Dr. Lou told me, I told him that bread didn't sit very well with me. And he said, yeah, bread is kind of like a sponge. And then I'm thinking, well, if it's like a sponge, that's all I'm going to eat, and I'll be full of bread, and that's not going to do me any good. So I totally stopped the bread. I miss pizza, don't get me wrong. I miss pizza. Once in a blue moon, I'll have a little tiny piece. But I'm better off with the vegetables and the meat and some fruits and eating better that way. And even nuts, raisins, yogurt, soups. So I do a lot better now. I do have my share of junk food. If I want ice cream, I'm going to have it. If I want Cheetos, I have it. But I put the brakes on at a certain point. Since I've had my lap band procedure, people have been reacting to me differently. In other words, there's people in my office that used to walk past me and just turn their head or look up or look down. Now people look me in the eye and they say, wow, you've lost a lot of weight. How'd you do it? People talk to me now and say hello, or people on the street even would say good morning or hi or excuse me, where before I felt like people were just avoiding me. And one of the things that bothered me was when I would go shopping to, as I would tell Dr. Lou, the fat lady stores, and I would have one of those bags in my hand, I would just feel like I'm advertising the fact that I'm fat, obese. I can't go to a normal store and buy any clothes. And I felt that people would look at those bags and just say, there goes another fat lady, and not have anything good to say about me at all. Didn't know my personality, didn't know who I was. Even a lot of people at work didn't really know who I was. And now all of a sudden, they talk to me, and some people have become my friends. I think they're afraid of catching something. It's almost like I would feel, what do I have, a disease? It's like nobody wanted to get close with you or get to know you because it was like you had something grossly wrong with you, and it was catchy. That's the kind of feeling I used to get.